Hello everybody and welcome back to another one of those videos where I talk about updates on the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress coming from Toady1 and KitFox. It's been a busy week, lots of text updates from the previous one from Zach and now this one from Tarn. We also supposedly are going to have a normal KitFox newsletter this week on Wednesday because that's when the dates would line up for the bi-weekly posts. However, I don't know because those are never confirmed until like the night before. So potentially it's going to be a very busy, hefty week, potentially not. We'll see. Regardless, I do have this post from Tarn, so I'm going to read it. If you want to skip the part where I read it and just where I talk about it, click here. You still with us? Sticking around? All right, let's read this. Tarn posts on Bay 12. I've been updating various menus to get through stage 1 of our roadmap. The name and image creators are done, and I've also updated the pressure plate menu. The image creator is about the same as before, but it's much easier to notice that job details can be set now, since you just click on the prominent magnifying glass by the relevant jobs or work orders. Clicking on planned engravings is currently non-obvious, but we'll handle that during stage 2 when we're doing tooltips and such. Hopefully this will lead to more custom statues and pictures. The last big project is to get tracks and rollers and stops placed and integrated with the minecart hauling menu. Track construction might still be a little clumsy because it can't easily guess where you want your ramps. But we're going to do a few helpful things, allowing you to build constructions over constructed floors more easily, which should help a bit. And the hauling menu itself will definitely end up nearly so nestedly weird as it is currently. Nestedly? What word is that? I don't even know, Tarn. Anyway, let's skip to the part where I talk about things. Alright, so if you've made it this far, here is my face, and now we're talking about those two posts. So the first point that Tarn brings up where he's talking about menus and working on the pressure plate menu and the images menu, one of the funniest things I see about like the image creator menu is the number of times I've had to show people where that menu is and that it does in fact exist. Because in the game you're able to essentially take any piece of what would be in a image or an artifact, and then you can design and specifically commission like engravings on your walls or statues to fit a perfect image. Likewise, when you're starting your fort, you can actually design your fort's image with a capital F key in the prepare carefully embark screen, or it'll just randomly generate you one if you just embark now, which is what I think a lot of people do, and they like never look at that screen. But you can customize all of that stuff right down to the whether or not the moon is screaming and whether or not there is a decapitated dwarf getting flayed by 15 gnomes with a demon in the background laughing at them. It's quite graphic, and I really, really like the image creator, so I'm excited to see people actually use it. Anyway, part 2 that they talk about here is the rollers and track stops and anything, literally anything to improve minecarts and their usability is a welcome addition to Dwarf Fortress. Just because the literal only reason I don't use them in every single fort is it takes longer to set them up than it does to just tell the dwarves to move the thing. So like if there's boulders everywhere, I'll just tell all 200 dwarves, just go move those boulders. That's fine. I'm not gonna set up a minecart trail and have one dwarf going whoop, whoop, whoop. Is it more visually satisfying to set up the minecarts? Sure, but you kill half your dwarves in the process when the little minecarts go down the track at a bajillion miles an hour and they go pop, and then a little baby face just goes pop when he hits the wall and explodes, which is suboptimal indeed. Or like when, visitors are wandering in and then like your outpost liaison just wanders on the track and then suddenly they're just gone. It's a great time until it's not, and then a war starts. But yeah, no, this is great. It really does feel like they're wrapping up that roadmap that they posted earlier in the year, and I'm excited for June. And the reason I'm excited for June is Summer Games Fest happens in June. This was originally announced, this whole version of Dwarf Fortress was originally announced at a Jeff Keighley Summer Games Fest. Keep that in mind. Might be worth keeping an eye out around that time, which is fitting because that's when my birthday is. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to see more of me and talking about Dwarf Fortress and updates about Dwarf Fortress, go over to the YouTube channel. There's a massive playlist full of more of these than you could reasonably watch in a reasonable amount of time. I also do first impressions and other various things on my YouTube channel. Also, if you want to support the work I do directly, we recently just hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and thank you very much for that. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/BLINDIRL, and you can see my patrons on the screen right now. And if you want to see more of my face while I play video games, go to twitch.tv/BLINDIRL, where I play lots of Dwarf Fortress and other things. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.